righty. Monday, December 29th. And the story of the morning, which I kind of expected, is gold. Gold getting absolutely getting beat up pretty good today, down over 1%. It did get up to highs, 45.83 and change, down 86. Currently trading 44.67. It was kind of obvious that this was likely to happen today, because I can't tell you from Friday's highs on silver, and we'll bring up the big chart. From Friday's highs on silver, the amount of just bullshit that was getting slung was getting absolutely obnoxious, to the point where I was literally seeing like every other post was something on silver and how silver's going to $1,000 and this and that and all this other shit. And I'm like, my God, what is the deal with this shit? And are these people really like, and it's the same fucking crew that was telling us XRP was going to be, $10 this year. And where's XRP at $1.50 or $1.80 or something like that? Still in the toilet, and it was that kind of stuff. And it's getting hit pretty hard. It's down 3%. I don't think this could happen to a better product at this point, only because, look, at least now we know there's somewhat of a ceiling. And they've raised margins on this more times than I can ever know. I mean, I think one contract on the SIs is something like $50K or something. It's some ridiculous amount of money. And so, yeah, I mean, so now we kind of know there's somewhat of a ceiling, at least short term. And now we currently trade 74 of 45. I am not getting involved with any of the metals today. Likely, I'm going to stay away. If there's any metal that I may dabble in on this downturn, is maybe some copper. I think that possibly could be the one that I think might have the bigger potential to bounce, only because copper is an industrial metal. It's a true industrial metal. I mean, silver does have some industrial applications to it. But, copper overall, out of all of them, so I don't know if I'd be willing to do anything down here. I kind of like this area I have marked down here, which is about 55. We have a little bit of ways to go there. So that's kind of the story of the morning, is gold, silver, and most of the metals. I even added palladium. I'm going to move this up. I added palladium, and I added platinum. I added palladium and I added platinum. All kind of look exactly the same. Palladium is a little different. It's kind of got this double top kind of going on here. I don't trade these. I don't really have any notion to trade them. I just put them up here just because. But those two are getting absolutely just blown to pieces today. Compared to the others, right? 10%, 6%. So these two are just getting absolutely wrecked. So that is kind of it. That was really kind of the story overnight and this morning. Big gap up, hit highs, especially on silver, big back gap up. And then I'm guilty of watching one program that does futures trading at night in fake accounts. But I just kind of wanted to see what the shills were kind of doing out there. And it was amazing to me to see the amount of people in their little chat. It was literally everybody was up, thousands and thousands of dollars last night. And they were all long, and they were all like, yeah, blah, blah, right? And then, and as soon as they saw that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to bed. I'm done. I don't really want to see this because, everybody's on steroids and a hero in chat. And then it's funny, I wake up this morning and, and we're just getting pummeled. And I kind of expected us to get pummeled at some point because it was setting up for that. So that's that. That's kind of what's going on in the markets today. And I think, some of this sell-off in the metals is dragging many of the other stocks along with it. And I think it's a little bit related that, we're kind of in this little bit of a consolidation phase. It does look like all the AI stocks, in a sense, are all getting hit a bit as well. And that's likely because of they're a little related because they're all kind of data center centric. All of them seem to be getting hit. They've been getting hit actually the last week or so into the end of the year here. They really haven't been doing very well, any of these. They've all been kind of a piece of crap. I think the only one that's actually really had some significant movement was HUD 8, and that's getting a little bit of a punishment today, which is actually good for me. I don't even know. I have to have a look. I think I might have gotten out of my HUD 8 strangle, which turned out to be a decently profitable one. Yeah, but they're all not looking good here at all. At all. CCJ could be a play. I know we've talked about that one before. I have tried to get into trades with that. I'm not chasing that one. They all kind of look the same, though. They all look the same. And they're all, very, it kind of tells me that many of these underlyings are more tied to these metals and that whole AI trade than I would care to believe. But anyway, everything is under the gun today. We are down, not hard. ES is down 20. NASDAQ's down about 117. Russell's down 5. The big mover this morning, I think, to the upside is oil. Oil trading $58. Likely going to get to 60. What else? Looking at the tape, I'm not seeing much. Again, I'm seeing all these names that I just mentioned, the riots, all the data center / AI / Bitcoin, blah, 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 all kind of under the gun this morning. You got Coin down, you got ClearSpark, you got Iron, HUD H, I mentioned, Riot, MSTR, all down today. Not seeing much else. Bunch of other little garbagey crap. And then some of the oils. Let's take a look at some of the oil stocks seem to be moving, which I haven't looked at that list in a while. Oil and gas stocks. These are some of the bigger ones. They have not done well of late. That's Valero. That doesn't look too bad That actually looks pretty decent there, Valero. Problem is, these aren't really very good to trade per se. That actually looks really good. You know, you got short term. Wow, that one looks really good. That looks really good. That looks really good. That one looks really good. That one looks really good. Bit of a definitely a nice up pattern. There's Marathon. Doesn't look as good. E.T. That one looks like crap. There's not a lot in this space overall outside of like the Apaches. I don't even, there's Apache. I think Apache was up to, there's Phillips. That looks really good as well here. Apache, I saw that on the tape. I don't think they, actually that one looks really good. That looks really well too. I always found it a little easier than playing the underlyings. Like, look, if you're going to own these and then just kind of like forget about them, here's in Schlumberger. I always remember Schlumberger. I worked back in the 90s. I worked at Dean Witter, and I remember on the Squawk Box every fucking morning, I swear to God, every freaking morning on the Squawk Box, they would talk for 15 minutes on Schlumberger. They love that fucking stock. They just talk that one up so bad, and that's why I always laugh when I read it, because like literally for like 3 years, I don't even know if I was there for 3 years, maybe 2 years. Every morning I had to hear about Schlumberger. I always found it better to be in the ETF. I really did. I mean, if you're going to play these, just buy the XLE. I own it. It just had a split. It just split 2 for 1. If you look at it, it has done really well over time, right? I mean, here it is since 2020. We can go back further than that, but it has done well and it pays dividends, and it does basically everything that all these individual stocks do. And I just found it for myself a lot easier to buy the ETFs. That's how I normally play it. And then if you want to get a little more aggressive, the more aggressive ETF is the XOP. And to me, that is the easiest way to play these. Not to say, look, you can go buy the individual stocks. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to play the sector, I mean, they all usually move the kind of the same. That's what's interesting about them. I always found it easier to just buy the ETF. And I've done it. I've done it. And it's done really well for me. And I've owned it. I could say I probably own it well over 10 years now, maybe even longer. I don't even know. It's quite possibly it's been longer than 10 years. But it's done really well. But many of these stocks, anyway, mentioning those are moving all this morning because crude oil is up about $1.35, and so is natural gas. So the energy's down, and then energy, we got, actually natural gas is showing big gap down. I don't know why that's showing a gap down there, but it's actually up. I don't know. They might have rolled the contract. I think that's what happened. Yeah, they rolled it. They rolled the contract, so that's why you have this big gap here in natural gas. But crude oil, having a pretty good day. A little bit of a dump on Friday, but making its way back. And we're targeting, like I said, I'm targeting $50. $60. Right around 60 is right about here. Right? So right up in this area. That's where I'm targeting. At least short term. I'm not doing anything long term. I think all this kind of crap going on in Venezuela, all this stuff going on in Venezuela, I think is going to put a bid underneath crude a little bit short term and spike things. I don't think we're going to like $90, but I do think we're going to have a little bit of, we are going to put a little bit bid in. And then let's switch to the equities. There's nothing going on in these, folks. I just have found that, because we are in such a tight trading range. I mean, look at these pivots. They are absolutely they are just stacked on top of each other. And the reason is because we just been in this tight trading range. And we haven't really fanned out. Now, that can mean one of two things, that we are, and we may even eventually today, it's quite possible that we bust through one of these areas, whether it's R3 or S3. It looks like S3 is more likely, and we expand the range. I'm going to be probably a buyer on the ES down here at this 69 area, 69.30. Kind of like that area down there. We're not very far away from that, but I kind of do like that area down there. Let's take a look at the Russell. Same thing. Not much looking at, folks. It's tough. This last week here, you're going to get a lot of just like repositioning. I know I'm going to be doing a couple of things. Like, I'm going to be taking some losses. I always like to take losses at the end of the year, just so that I'd rather take my losses at the end of the year than take my gains. I can get rid of, and I like to get rid of junk that just maybe didn't work and just kind of move on and get a fresh start. And so that's kind of what's going on in the NASDAQ as well. We have broken the S3 and likely may embark. Now, there's nothing really here. There is nothing really here that I'm ultimately looking at that's remotely interesting. This could be interesting, but again, we got these swing lows here. There's a gap here to fill. That's 25.6. That's about another 100 points. That's not completely a ridiculous spot to even think that we get. Another 100 points is really nothing on the NASDAQ. We can do that in a heartbeat. But there is no area here where if we get any momentum to the downside that I'm going to be willing to jump in front of a freight train, because again, you're going to have all this tax selling going on that it could actually get a little dicey. And I just don't think you really have the volume and the participation. We haven't even done, it's 8:30 or 8:45, and we haven't even done 100,000 cars on the ES yet. So there's no participation. All the participation is out here in the metals, and gold continues to fall, drop like a rock here, down now over 100, and silver down 5%, down to 72. So there are some people getting absolutely wrecked. And now I know there's been a bunch of talk, like it's back to silver. I know there's been a bunch of talk out there, and I've seen a few people were like, all the banks are, billions of dollars short in silver and like this was the shit that I was hearing. And one guy went as far as saying, they might have to take delivery on it and blah, blah. I'm like, there ain't nobody taking fucking delivery. Nobody's taking fucking delivery on it. Shut up. According to who? Bro? Right? Who's taking fucking delivery on fucking silver? You know what I mean? Nobody's fucking taking delivery on anything. Nobody's taking delivery. No bank's taking delivery on anything. Like, shut up. And if they are, like, how do you know? Right? How the fuck do you know? Mister, I'm in my fucking basement. Somebody told me. Shut up. Oh my God. I'm just like, well, it doesn't look like they're going to be taking delivery on much of anything, though. If they're short, they're actually going to be doing pretty good. If this keeps going the way it is, I mean, if they're short contracts in January, guess what? They timed it right. And maybe that's by design, too. Maybe it's all by design that's happening to bail the banks out. Who knows? But, like, what? Who knows? Anyway, so the metals continue to get pummeled today, and that's a good thing. Don't look at this as a bad thing. This is actually a good thing that this is happening. All right, I don't have much of anything else. Nothing's really moving. I mean, and like the only thing that's moving is this. I ain't trading any of those, so that's that. And I still like bonds. I still like the short end, though. I still like the short end. This is the ZN. I still like the short end. Long. I wanted to add some last night, but we gapped up, and so I was in a like kind of a pickle. I was like, you know what? I don't like to buy when we're up, and so I stood off. So I'm still buying a little of these bonds, the shorter end, on dips. All right, and that's it. So have a good week, and I will be back tomorrow. And trade, and look, don't be an idiot. Don't trade these metals today. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. They're going to move all over the place unless you're going to be able to sit there and hold on to a position and watch it like lose 1,000 to make 1,000, because that's kind of the price action that's been going on in here. It's just not worth it. Just stay out of the way. All right. And so have a good one, and I will be back.